What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've had a lot of requests, at least on Instagram, to do kind of a walk around or a detailed overview of my Tacoma that I bought recently. I got it because I felt like I was kind of beating up my GX. One, I was kind of beating up the GX, getting out to my shooting spots out here in the Utah West Desert. And when I take the GX, I have to take the car seats out, and then my wife was just stuck with the Corolla and 2 kids and a dog, so it's a lot harder for her if she wants to go out on a Saturday. So I got on KSL. I mean, I didn't get on KSL. I look at KSL every day religiously. It's just a habit. I always look if there's deals on Land Cruisers or daydream about Land Cruisers, or find gems like this truck. And I finally found this truck. So he wanted quite a bit for it, considering it's been rolled. I guess it hasn't been rolled. I feel like it got just tipped over, like it, side hilled and then rolled over on top. So it's got some body damage. There's a few rust spots on the body. Other than that, the frame is as straight as can be. The frame is super solid, basically rust free as well. The motor runs awesome. The previous owner bought it rolled, and he was a Toyota mechanic, so he went through and replaced a bunch of stuff. It's got new rack and pinion, all new upper and lower control arms, CV axles, tie rods, basically a brand new front end, and then new power steering pump, all new spark plugs and spark plug wires, brand new head gasket, which I think he kind of went through after, because it's been rolled, oil gets up in the wrong places. So he went ahead and did all the head gasket, all the coolant stuff, and it runs like a top. It stays cool. I've been daily driving it for the past over a month, just to make sure there's no more kinks to get out before I take it on a longer road trip. I have a commute of like 15 miles every day, so I get on the freeway, and it does surprisingly well on the freeway, which I wasn't really worried about it. I didn't buy this truck to be fast, but it's still nice to be able to do 75 on the freeway, which it'll do 75 at about 2,600 RPM, which is pretty doable. It does it pretty comfortably. It's not, it's not struggling. And when I need to, it can get up to 80. But I obviously don't cruise at 80. I think that's working it a little too hard. And for having the bigger 33s, they're 33 by 12.5 R17, so they're pretty fat tires for a little truck. It drives super straight. It tracks like my Corolla, which is saying something for a truck that's had this much suspension work done to it. But I've been extremely happy with it. And yeah, so let's get out and do a little walk around. I'll talk about why I bought it, why I like these older trucks so much. This is my 3rd Tacoma, my 6th Toyota. I've been into Toyotas for quite a while, basically ever since I could drive. But yeah, let's get out and walk around it. So the tires are a 33 by 12.5 R17 Delium Terra Raiders. So it's one of the off-brand tires, but so far they've been awesome. I'll probably eventually go to a little bit more narrow tire and a wheel with less offset. This has -10 offset, so it's got a little bit of stance. But the one thing I hate about stance on an off-roading truck is it throws mud everywhere. This truck gets absolutely filthy when we go in some nasty mud. Like, it's just straight up not white anymore. So that's something I'll switch up, but the stance does look really cool. I am a big fan.
It has built-in 51 on width. It has cuts up to the forelines.
Good job. In the rear, it's got Bilstein 5125s with ARB leafs and shackles. Nothing too crazy. So one of the nice little upgrades that the previous owner did is he put buckets in from a Hyundai, what was it, coupe? They're Hyundai seats. They're really comfortable. They still articulate forward and back. They've got the up and down articulation adjustment, but they work really well. I'm still debating on keeping them, just because obviously they take up a little bit more room than just the stock smaller seats, so you don't get as much forward and backward. Okay, go buddy. Canyon, go over there. Keep going. But yeah, you just don't get as much adjustment as you would with the stock seats. But for now, they are really nice and they are really comfortable for driving farther. The lighting and roof rack is pretty simple. It's got pods, it's got light bar in the bumper and on the roof rack. And then he's got pods going around the roof rack. I did relocate the left side pods so I could put just a kind of a recovery box on top. It's just an old like SKB case that I drilled some holes in. But the lights around are super nice. So big fan of those. The roof rack system is basically like an AutoZone special, and I kind of like it. I like the way it looks. I really like the old school look of this truck. Go dude, faster. But yeah, it works really well. It's not an overland rig. It's more just a fun truck that will go anywhere. So I'm not an overlander. If we're being honest, are any of you overlanders? Inside, don't mind the mess, but we've got a little kind of switch panel for all the lights, and it has a little USB and voltage meter right there, so that's pretty cool. One of the things that I did install was an ICOM 27. One of the things that I did install was an ICOM 2730 dual band radio. So that's where I've got the handheld mic set up. I've got the kind of head unit installed right there, and the wire goes back. It's all packed back there. The actual, big radio itself is back there. And then I always have the HD2 DMR in here. But yeah, in the cab, it's pretty clean. Nothing crazy. Got all the Canyon snacks. Got his car seat strapped in here. The airbag off. But yeah, nothing crazy. Engine bay is actually pretty clean. A few of the things that I need to add are new splash guards just to seal in the engine bay a little bit more, because it does get a little bit of dirt over here. But mechanically, this truck is immaculate. It has 207,000 miles on it, and it runs fantastic. Engine oil is super clean. He did put all new spark plug and wires in here, a new power steering pump, and it runs awesome. I did put a new battery in just to help things along, but everything else, the truck's perfectly sound, and it runs awesome. So this is my third Tacoma and fifth or sixth Toyota. So I've had my first Tacoma was a first gen like this. It was the extra cab, and that was an awesome truck. Honestly, should have never sold it. My second Tacoma was a second gen, 2005, and that one was a little too big. It was on 35s, 6-inch lift, big suspension, big everything. It was really fun, but not a great daily. And then I still have a third gen 4Runner. I got a fifth gen 4Runner. Now we have a Lexus, a GX 470, and then I got this. So one of the only downsides to having a truck that's been rolled is the passenger door is hard to open, and you kind of have to slam it. But I mean, all things considered, that's the worst part of the rolled truck. Other than obviously the rust and stuff that I'm gonna take care of eventually. I'm gonna sand it down, hit it with some new paint and clear coat. But everything else, the truck is awesome. But so far, it's actually been a pretty nice daily. It gets decent gas mileage. It's got the 2.7 for 4-cylinder.
Dad, I want to talk now.
What do you want to say, bud? What do you have to say about the truck?
Just, it has a Boyman Wop in its tire.
Oh, Bilstein struts? So it gets pretty decent gas mileage. I drive, my commute's only like 15 miles, so it's not bad. But I haven't done the math, but I'm guessing it gets probably 22 to 24 miles to the gallon. And it does pretty surprisingly well on the freeway. A lot of people said when I bought it and when I first posted about it, they're like, oh, 55 maxed out, but it will do 75 comfortably, and it can hit 80, but I don't want to just sit there and hang at 80. It'll do 75 at 2,500 to 2,600 RPM comfortably, And then obviously more than that, I don't want to be just sitting there at $3,000 chugging down the road. And since owning this truck, and the GX has been awesome too, but I've been disliking the newer stuff more and more. Hey, yeah, buddy, let's get back. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Some guys, you might understand what I'm saying, but being like out, just like exploring trails, doing stuff like this, going shooting. But for me, like in a rig like this, compared to my 5th gen 4Runner, it's an awesome truck, but I just enjoy it so much more in a truck like this. And I think I just attribute that to the simplicity of these older trucks. And obviously it's a lot funner to wheel in a truck like this because of what you paid for it. You know, I think it's a lot easier to enjoy a truck like this when you haven't, you know, you're not making massive payments on it, or it's, you know, it's just not technically yours. This is mine. And there's so much less in the cab to distract you from, you know, what you're doing. In those, all the new trucks, you know, you got crawl control, you've got a massive screen that's trying to pull your attention in. You've got all the navigation, you've got all these drive modes. Just everything is trying to like distract you from the vehicle and the trail. And that's just something that, you know, I don't know, I'm kind of talking myself in a circle, but I just enjoy this so much more compared to the newer trucks. Don't get me wrong, the new trucks are awesome. You know, it's super fun to have a ton of power and crazy smooth suspension, but you know, you get outside to be outside. You want to get out and be away from it all. So getting into a truck like this really lets you enjoy outside. It lets you enjoy the trail. It lets you be less distracted from all, you know, all the amenities that make life so easy. And you still, like with this truck, you still get every bit of off-road capability that comes with, you know, the newer trucks. You know, you got the lockers, you got 4-low, you got big knobby tires, you got nice suspension. But in a truck like this, I feel like you can enjoy the trail so much more. I'm not bagging on you guys that have the brand new Tacomas and the new Jeeps and stuff like that. But it's just me, and I think there's a lot of people that will resonate with that are into the old Land Cruisers and to the old Toyotas. There's just so much more to enjoy in a vehicle like this. You can enjoy the vehicle. I think it's also, for me, it's also a lot more fulfilling being in a truck like this, knowing that I've done the work. You know, with all those new trucks, there's very few people that will, even like when they go and do build them, like you get a brand new truck and then you make it not stock anymore, you go and buy the nice suspension and everything. You just bolt on a few parts, but with this truck, I feel a lot more connected to it. I feel like I'm just a lot more satisfied with having done the oil changes, the maintenance, fixing, diagnosing things, taking a truck, you know, that's a shitbox for all intents and purposes, but then turning it into like, you know, a thing that I can go and make memories with my son. It's that old truck. I don't think there's a lot of people that have, you know, deep, solid memories with their parents in a brand spanking new vehicle. You know, with me, it was an old Dodge Dakota with my dad, or the old C10, or even the super old, just a beat up Subaru Outback that me and my dad would take that would go forever on empty. It was crazy. I was always scared we were gonna run out of gas. We never did. But, you know, I got it because I want to make those same memories with my son in an old truck. I want him to remember an old truck that we worked on, that we built, that we got stuck, you know, that we took to the car wash. Just stuff like that. I feel like those memories are so much more meaningful when it's done in a vehicle that you kind of nursed back to health, you know, built to be capable. I don't know, I'm just rambling. That's how I feel about these old trucks. A lot of people make fun of them. You know, it's a rust bucket. It's slow, and all this stuff. But you know, I didn't buy it to be fast. I didn't buy it to look cool. I bought it to work on and to take me cool places and to do fun stuff with my boys. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you resonate with that, or if there's a reason why you like the newer trucks more or the older trucks more. I don't know. Everybody likes their own thing, but I just feel so much more satisfied and connected with the old Toyotas as opposed to the new ones. All right, guys. I'm gonna call it on this video because I'm gonna... He's snoring. I'm gonna take him home, but let me know if you guys liked the truck specific videos. This one was kind of short, but I just wanted to do a little walk around, show how cool this little truck is. I'm gonna continue building it, but let me know if you like this kind of content. I'm gonna mix it in as well. I want to kind of diversify. I don't want to be just guns, even though that's gonna be the main thing, but you know, I want to do a lot of Toyota stuff as well. So let me know what you guys thought, and we'll see you next time.